Welcome to the Sewing Street tutorial YouTube. I'm Steffi from The Makers and I've needle felted for 20 years and a little bit extra maybe. And I'm going to show you how you needle felt and what sort of the basic needle felting projects are that you could start with. So I'm going to use some wool bats, which is a carded wool. This is a natural sheep wool, 100% wool, and obviously it's been dyed. To make a round shape, something like this, for example, you're going to wind the wool in by using your fingers, and you can make this quite tight already, or you can roll it in softly and then just stab it a little bit more when it comes to felting. The main thing is that you let the last wispy fibers smooth out over the shape like this. This is these wispy fibers. These are the ones that you initially stab with your needle to secure the shape. So if I let go of it now, it won't pop open. And then when you sink the needle in, you can probably see that with every little stab that you make, the wool gets pushed inward. And that is the little notches at the end of the needle catching the sheep fiber and pushing them in. Now, if you look at a sheep fiber under a microscope, you see that they have little barbs. So when you force the fibers together, these little barbs, they interlock and they make the fibers stick together and hang in there together. And that is what is the felting process. So you can achieve this by stabbing with a needle, or it can also be achieved with a water movement and soap, which is also referred to as wet felting, or sometimes it happens accidentally in your washing machine with your favorite woolly jumper when you don't want it to happen. So you just keep stabbing into the wool to make the shape. With every stab, you're pushing the fibers closer together, which means you are also shrinking your project. So sometimes that can be up to half the size that it becomes really small, but it also depends whether you're felting it down very firmly or you're keeping it quite soft. That's entirely up to you, the project, what it requires, and how much you enjoy doing this, and you can't help yourself just stabbing. Sometimes when you stab the needle only superficially, all you're felting is the surface, then obviously you're just smoothing down the surface rather than shrinking the shape. But if you sink your needle right into the center, you're felting the surface as well as the core. So there is a time and a place, depending on what your project is going to be, that you choose to do one or the other. Now, sometimes you have the wrong colors in your stash. So if you want a purple, but you've only got red and blue, guess what? You can mix them to make them into a new colorway. And to mix fibers, you take a pinch. If you're using your hands to mix this, then don't overload your hands with it, and just lay the fibers on top of each other, tease them apart and overlay them in the same direction. It will take a little while to get them to get mixed together, but it's consistency and just the same repetitive movement that eventually will turn your blue and red into purple. And of course that works with all of the colors on the color wheel. So you can mix green out of blue and yellow, you can make pink out of red and white, you can make a lighter brown if you add a lighter color into it, purple as I'm doing now with red and blue. You can also make orange with red and yellow, and many other variations that you might want. And if you like mixing 2 or 3 colors, you can even go for 4 or 5 colors. There is no end to your creativity and how you would like to make those wools take shape and color however you want it, because sometimes you need a mottled effect, so you don't mix it so thoroughly. But if you keep consistently mixing, you end up with a new colorway. You can then add surface colors, shapes, decorations, anything you like onto your existing needle felting shape. So you could draw lines, you can make spots and dots, circles, you can add ears to a project in the same way. Sometimes you make a separate shape and then felt them all together. And that is how you start out on your needle felting journey, which I hope you will enjoy as much as I have done over the last 20 years. And remember to subscribe and like the channel so that you have access to lots more tutorials, including needle felting. Thank you very much.